Hmm, looks like we need a spice rack. Seriously? Hiding in the garage watching me again? Welcome back, guys. Well, as you saw, we're going to be working on a spice rack for the cabinet. Come on, let's get started. How do y'all keep getting in here? Looks like our measurements are going to be 17 inches wide by 9 inches deep. I've got the first 17 inch marked here. We're going to use 1 by because the width of the bottles is just about a little over an inch, so they're going to sit on there pretty well. The last row in the very front will sit on the base of the cabinet, so it's not going to be too high. We're probably going to put the small bottles on top in the back and then have the larger ones up front, because when you reach to the back to try and pull one out, you got to have enough clearance, and the smaller bottles will be fine for small enough that you can get your hand back there and not knock everything over on the back end. You saw that wood trying to run away from me, didn't you? All right. Did you guys see where I put my pencil? Just kidding. All right. Pretty close. We'll just trim that puppy in a minute. I got about 5 or 6 more. Alright guys, so what we've got is a little bit of a lip on that back wall. It's 2 inches tall and 1 inch deep, so probably I'm going to take these first 2 that I cut, glue them together, and then we're going to use them standing up. I'm going to cut the 2 inch out of here and then 1 inch deep on both of them. We'll set the saw blade for that to fit up against that back wall and make our first piece of the shelving. I took a little bit off each edge, so I'll have a totally flat edge to glue those together. So we're going to let those dry, then we'll come back and make those cuts for the back wall. In the meantime, we'll move on to the next pieces. Alright guys, I got a couple of more scraps cut together, or cut and glued together. And as you can see by the shadows on the old table saw there, it's getting late in the afternoon, so we're going to pick this up tomorrow. I'll show you then. It's going to take 4 pieces of this to get to the height we want on that back shelf. So we're going to put these 2 under the ends of the other 2 that we put together. These will not be 17, but the top will, the part that matters. It's going to hold the spices. And we'll get that done tomorrow. Alright guys, it's been a couple of days. As you can tell by my voice, I've been under the weather. But let's take these apart and see how our glue did. I'm sure it's good because it's had plenty of time to dry. Alright, now, sorry about the voice guys, it's got a cold. Let's pull them in here. let's say that one will go over here. Now we're going to glue that together like so, and that will give us our back shelf, and then we'll come back and cut out the little notch to go on that back piece of the shelf so it'll fit directly up against the wall. Gives a little bit more room for the spices that are going to be sitting up on the top shelf. Alright, we've got our glue laid down. We're going to spread it out a little bit with the other piece that's going to be going on it. There we go. Get that one a little better. There we go. Alright. So, what's with the salt shaker? Well, as one of my other internet people said, the salt helps it gives it a bite. It keeps the wood from slipping. Little bitty granular pieces in there, they bite down into each piece of wood when you clamp them down. Keeps the wood from sliding, and I've used it on several occasions. So just passing that one along to you guys from whoever else passed it along to me. Good tip to know. Alright, we got it glued down and we're letting it dry, so we'll come back and then we will cut out the notch in the back of it, or on the bottom in the back, to let it fit up against that back shelf. And yes, I probably will stain this since my wife doesn't know I'm doing this. I'm gonna surprise her with a hopefully nice spice rack. Alright guys, my voice still isn't back to normal. It's been a couple of days, so let's take the clamps off and check out our wood. So far, so good. Well, nothing fell apart except that one clamp. Yep, that's solid. All right. Next thing is we're going to cut out the notch for it to go up against the back wall. So we got our measurements on our piece of paper somewhere over here, hiding on our handy dandy piece of paper. All right, here's our measurements for our back wall. Cut out 2 inches tall, 1 inch deep. Alrighty, that looks like 2 inches to me. Wonderful. Alright, let's go see how it fits. Alright, looked like the cutout worked real good. You can see here in the little notch, our 1 inch by 2 inch cutout worked great. We got enough clearance up here. You can reach and grab one of these, pull it out over top of the other ones once we get all the other ones in here. So I think this is going to work out pretty good. We just have to figure out a height for the ones we want to put in the back, and then the rest are going to set flat on the kitchen shelf. Yeah, looking pretty good. So here's what I'm thinking. We do like that. We'll have 2 pieces of this, and then we'll have the next row down here. So when you need to see what's behind it, you still have enough height. You can lift that up and read whatever label you need to read, because you'll be behind these guys. So I just need to leave enough front and back space so when I pick them up I can get them out without knocking this front row over. So let's measure that, cut that, And I smell glue. Some sacrifices will have to be made. Just kidding. I want to use that to measure how wide I need to make my piece of wood here, or make the cut that we're gonna be using. Looks like about 2.5 would be good. If you'll focus, there we go, somewhere around. Yeah, 2.5. I don't want it slammed too tight, so we'll go with 2.5. That should give us enough in front. We can pull those out and not knock over the rest of the bottles in front of whatever we're pulling out. Alright, we got our 4 pieces of wood cut, and we're going to glue them all together and make that back stack. Maybe I'll start a show called Over Clamping. I'm going to guess the glue is dried and it held, just on a hunch. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to have to put the camera down for a second here. I was going to put the tall guys in front. That way you could move them and reach over. And, I might put a test piece in here and then we'll see. Looks like we've got our pieces of wood cut and sanded. So let's get them stained and put in the cabinet. So we went with a very dark pecan stain, and we'll let them dry and sit them in the cabinet and then figure out how to arrange all the spice jars. Hey, not too bad. Look at that. Looks all organized and stuff, and we can reach in and get one out without knocking everybody over. We can reach the little bitty ones way up there in the back and grab one, and it works pretty good. Okay, there you have it. A nice simple spice rack that you can make and scale to whatever size you have for your spices. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you'll tune in again, and please subscribe.